Welcome to Tammy Nation. Let's go.
I've been running from 9 to 5, been biting my tongue for all this time. Won't let anyone cut me short. I was thinking this was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, I'll be no good man. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home.
Okay, I'm back. It didn't take me as long as I thought it was going to take me. So I just popped up some articles and we're just going to cover this, you guys, as far as the border. Larry P., the convoy starts the 29th and goes to February 3rd or the 4th. I haven't seen that. I wanted to cover something that just got put out by Governor Abbott and give you the update of what I've seen about the border. Hey, D-Dog. Good to see you. So as we know, there's all kinds of stuff going on at the border, with Governor Abbott versus the feds and, Biden's administration and stuff. They're going back and forth. And what I saw yesterday was saying that, they're just going to keep fighting. Things are going to go back and forth. And, yesterday the Supreme Court said, go ahead to Biden's administration people to go ahead and cut the razor wire down that they're putting up. And Governor Abbott came out and said that we're going to keep putting the razor wire up. We're going to protect our state. We have the right to do that. So thus far, what is going on is there's been 30 miles of razor wire that has been put up. The DOJ is saying that it basically impedes them being able to canvass and control the area and keep the border people to be able to do what they need to do with this razor wire up in the Eagle Pass area. But I've seen that there's a lot of arrests that are being made. I've seen that the Texas military is actually on top of those trains, armed and ready to go for people trying to cross over. The fight isn't over. Obviously, the government in Texas are going back and forth and all the legalities, and the B administration obviously doesn't want this happening. But it's basically a showdown because Governor Abbott says that we are going to continue to deploy the razor wire. He said the Texas Military Department is going to continue to hold the line in Shelby Park, and their efforts to deter and prevent unlawful entry into the state of Texas under Operation Lone Star orders from Governor Greg Abbott. The Texas National Guard's actions continue despite the second demand letter from the Department of Homeland Security to release control of the park seized by the state earlier this month. But Abbott pledged that he's going to continue doing the razor wire along the Rio Grande border with Mexico. And this is what we don't understand. If anybody that doesn't see it, why in God's green earth would they not want razor wire put up there? And why would you not want to deter people from crossing over? It makes zero sense. It's just a continuation of our borders being wide open. And it's terrible that the DHS is telling him not to do it, but he's able to do it. And then it just got released as well. Texas Governor Greg Abbott released a statement. He was outlining the state's rights to constitutional self-defense when dealing with a lawless president. And I'm going to read through this little letter that Governor Greg Abbott put out there. And it says the federal government has broken the compact between the United States and the states. The executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal laws protecting states, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is that he smashed records for illegal immigration. Despite having been put on notice in a series of letters, one of which I delivered to him by hand, President Biden has ignored Texas's demand that he perform his constitutional duties. This is getting juicy, you guys. President Biden has violated his oath to faithfully execute immigration laws enacted by Congress. Instead of prosecuting immigrants for the federal crime of legal entry, President Biden has sent his lawyers into federal courts to sue Texas for taking action to secure the border. I love this man. This is brilliant. President Biden has instructed his agencies to ignore federal state statutes that mandate the detention of illegal immigrants. The effect is to illegally allow their impasse parole into the United States. By wasting taxpayer dollars to tear open Texas's border security infrastructure, President Biden has enticed illegal immigrants away from the 28 legal entry points along the state's southern border, bridges where nobody drowns, and into the dangerous waters of the Rio Grande. So it continues on, but this is what's interesting. He says this illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people and all across the United States. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and other visionaries who wrote the U.S. Constitution foresaw that states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. That is why the framers included both Article 4, which promises that the federal government shall protect each state against invasion, and Article 110, Clause 3, which acknowledges the state's sovereign interest in protecting their borders. And it says the failure of the Biden administration to fulfill the duties imposed by Article 4 and has triggered Article 1 and 10, Clause 3, which reserves the state of the right of self-defense. For these reasons, I have already declared the invasion under Article 1 and 10, Clause 3 to invoke Texas constitutional authority to defend and protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. The Texas National Guard and the Texas Department of Public Safety and other Texas personnel are acting on that authority as well as the state law to secure the Texas border. So like I said, Abbott just released the statement defining this and why he's doing what he's doing, and it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. D-Dog says if the sheriff would step up the border, and the state and Fed would have no say, no standing. I mean, it's getting interesting, D-Dog. It's all the stuff that we've read about, that we should know about, that they're enacting. And, you know, I don't know if you guys saw the video or not that came out just, I think it was yesterday, that there was a man, they were filming somebody that was crossing. It was Kari Lake actually backed this video. And I saw the video yesterday, but I wasn't sure if it was real or not. So I didn't want to put it out there, but Kari Lake reposted it. And it's 12 miles east of Sesame, Arizona. There was a man that walked into our country, and he said to this journalist who asked him who he was, this is what the man said: "If you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're going to know who I am." And she says, these are the people Biden, Gallegio, and Sinema are bringing into America, unvetted people making threats. And then there's rumors or allegedness going on that this person was released. He was a Muslim that was released in January 2023 after serving 12 years for being that T word. And so basically he's a T-E-R-R. I don't want to say the word too much. You know what I'm talking about. But this is the guy that came through yesterday, and he says, you don't know who I am. You're not smart enough to know, but you'll know eventually. And I have to watch it because I just got a notification from YouTube today that I have all these restrictions put on me for some reason, and for community standard violations, or I haven't verified my account or something, and so I've lost access to advanced features. So my point is, I haven't investigated this YouTube thing that I just got today. I haven't had time, but basically you should probably subscribe to Tammy Nation too if you haven't already, because I've lost some live stream things and shorts and video uploads. I'm not sure, I didn't read through it yet, but with me talking about this now as well, who knows? And it's so stupid because there's channels out there that have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, subscribers. And I mean, I have 800 and some, and they're going to pick on me, but it is what it is. So we know that we've been dealing with that with different community channels all across it and as well. And there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. So, but this border thing is pretty interesting. Like I said, so the Texas Military Department, you can look through, I think it was Breitbart had an article, and it shows that they're just putting all this razor wire up and they're spreading it, and they're going to just keep on going. And that in Eagle Pass there, they're doing the same thing. And like I said, the Biden administration is saying that they don't want this happening. They don't want this going on. So those are your friends and family who think that all of us were just crazy for our concerns and worries about the border and what was going to happen. It's right in their faces. It's been going on for a long time. We're well aware of that. But this is just ludicrous with what his administration is doing. If the Texas governor wants to do that, he has every right to do that. And it's just insanity that we're fighting our own government. It's just ridiculous. The other thing that I wanted to cover, if you guys didn't heard or not, was about, it's a leaked audio tape about Arizona Republican Party Chair Jeff DeWitt. He was caught on a secret recording trying to bribe Kari Lake not to run for the Senate. And you know, it was very disturbing, the words that he said, and about the powerful people who want to keep her out. They wanted to bribe her out, and so she wouldn't run. And DeWitt basically was just telling her, go ahead and give us the number, whatever number it is, we're going to pay you. And Kari Lake is on audio saying, I can't be bought. And that's what it's about. Basically, they wanted to buy her out. And Lake was like, this is not about money. It's about our country. And as of today, now this broke yesterday, and it says the powers that be were going to do anything to keep her out. And she said, this is about country. This isn't about money. And as of today, Mr. DeWitt has resigned as the Arizona Republican Party chair. That audio tape leaked yesterday, and with him trying to bribe her. But he claims now that it was selectively edited, and said there's even a more damaging recording out there. So when he was questioned about this, he used the opportunity to attack her and play victim. He said she cannot be trusted to engage in private and confidential conversations. And then he represented himself as an innocent person in an unpaid role that demands the amount of time of roughly 2 full-time jobs. So it's just amazing to me that these people are caught in their own words trying to bribe people, and then they're claiming victim and saying that she can't be trusted to have confidential conversations. But Kari Lake, she took a pause, and she said, this is not about money. I can't be bought. I can't be paid for. I can't be sold. This is about country. And she says they're going to have to unalive me to stop me. So Kari Lake in for the win. And like I said, it's one day later, and this guy, DeWitt, resigned. And, he just had all these atrocious different things to say. And, this backpedaling these people do after they put this out there is just disgusting. And, you can read exactly what he had to say on Gateway Pundit if you want to. It just came out today. But, good for Kari. I can't be bribed or bought. And she said, I'm only in this for my children in the state of Arizona. And that's what we keep saying repeatedly over and over, that those of us who are in it, the sacrifices that we're making and stuff, it isn't about us. It's about our country, and it's about our children and grandchildren. And it's really refreshing to know that she had that kind of attitude, and that it was caught on tape, and that she couldn't be bribed. I mean, they're talking millions and millions of dollars, and it's just incredibly crazy to me. What we think was corrupt or underhanded, it's just on such a massive scale that it's hard to even comprehend anymore. I mean, these people are so brazen to make a phone call. They know that it can be traced and it can be used against them, but I guess they feel they aren't going to be caught, and they're so powerful and in control that they don't have to worry about it, that they can have the audacity to do it, and it doesn't matter. So it takes a very few people to stand up and stand out to expose it, and good for Kari for doing it. God bless her. And the other thing that's going on is all kinds of things are happening in the state of Georgia. We talked about the Halderman report and everything going on with that, with Halderman himself, saying that the D machines could be easily tainted or messed with, and he actually used a pen in front of the judge from one of their pens and show how it can be manipulated right in front of the judge, and the judge couldn't believe it. So there's all this going on now because of him doing that, and those the D machines, I'm not going to say the full word, can be played with, messed with, and all that. Well, now what came out today is there has been a 7-year-long federal lawsuit known as Curling versus Raffensperger that began 7 years ago in Judge Amy Totenberg's court. Now, what happened was the evidence of voting machines vulnerabilities in Fulton County, the E word, issues entered into the federal court. So this came out today that from the voter Georgia's Ricardo Davis, he inserted himself as a co-plaintiff to retain his own counsel, and it was showing how they could be messed with. So, like I said, J. Alex Halderman himself was showing right in front of the judge, right in front of her face, using only a pen, he could do that. So this case has been going on for 7 years, and then all this is just breaking through. So now there's this lawsuit that has been going on for 7 years against Raffensperger, and we know all about him and his name and all the people that he's tied to and stuff. So it seems like a lot of this stuff is coming into fruition of the things that we talked about back, 3-4 years ago now. So like I said, we've been patient, we've been diligent, but now there's a lot more evidence coming out that proves what everybody had to say is true. And even though some of those that don't want to believe or say, you know what, it didn't happen, there's articles that you can go to the Gateway Pundit or you can go to Breitbart and you can show to people to wake them up, open their eyes up. I mean, it's the numbers, it's all the times, the frames of when it happened. You've got testimonies and all that's going on. So it's just, to me, it's refreshing after all these years long of people talking about it, people showing it, exposing it, and people not believing it. Now it's coming to fruition now in the court of law. And with Halderman, that was a big thing for a while. And like I said, that came to fruition yesterday. There's a lot of stuff shaken. It's hard to even keep up. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was Pelosi, the AOC, and other House Dems are hit with an ethics complaint. They're accused of repeatedly misusing funds, and that's no surprise there. There's a watchdog that has filed an ethics complaint against 10 Democratic lawmakers claiming that they are using public resources for partisan political purposes. It says that it's been repeatedly used official resources by them for political gain, and that the law at issue is simple. It says that none of this money and resources should be used for campaign or political purposes. The release said that the official House photographs and video, government buildings, a member of officials' website and social media accounts, and anything created by government employees are considered off limits. It says the rules additionally reiterate that campaign social media accounts cannot contain any official context or resources and cannot repost official social media posts. However, fact said that Democrats regularly use official resources or content on social media, honing in on X, formerly known as Twitter. To make his point, the complaint attached 91 pages of examples. So they put in this ethics complaint, they've got 91 pages of examples that Pelosi was using House video on a campaign website. Another one of the 91 pages showed Omar using C-SPAN footage on her Instagram account, while another showed Presley speaking on the House floor in a post on X. So I find it interesting that they were doing all of this on their side, but our side was being suffocated, and we were being censored, and we still are. So it's very interesting to see what the heck is going to happen with that. But that was just filed yesterday, and I think that a lot of things are rolling. There has been a lot of things rolling, but I think it's past the point now of people say, well, nothing will be done. It's gotten to be so much exposure with details and the gory details that the other side doesn't have. You know, we see Mr. T and his family, what they've been going through in these courts and the systems, and what Engoron and all of them have been doing. And it's just so, it is like the Twilight Zone. Nothing seems just, nothing seems fair. It seems chaotic, but there's so much that is out there readily available in a lot of places for us to be able to read and pick up on and see the details for ourselves. It's not being censored anymore. It's being out there. Even on some of the networks, they're talking about the different things going on. And so it's kind of refreshing. I feel like things are tilting, towards the fairness side. The scales have been so unbalanced for so long that they're starting to come up. However, it's a chaotic obstacle course out there to try to keep track of everything that's going on from moment to moment. It keeps changing. And it is kind of concerning with this whole border thing, because when push comes to shove, is this the beginning of something that is not going to be handled in a calm manner, let's just say? However, there's a lot of some states that are backing Abbott, and I think all states should. I mean, the most states should, because nobody wants these illegals in their state anymore. Nobody can take care of them anymore. Their funds, their means, their space, all the different things that you need to take care of millions of people are running out, and it's all coming to a head, I feel. And thank God for Governor Abbott for standing up for what is right. And it's just so tilted. Taco Joe and Oreo. Yes, I am back, Kettlehead. I'm just about ready to get out of here again. But anyways, those are the few things I wanted to cover real quick, you guys. Like I said, it was really important for me to get that Governor Abbott letter out because I find that very interesting. I kind of read through it fast. I didn't read through all of it, but you can go to his website and look it up and read through it for yourself and look up all the articles and the different things. And like I said, that one is amazing to me, because it's all the things we talked about, that we have rights, that if we don't know our rights, we don't know what we're doing, right? So when Governor Abbott put that out, I was like, wow, this is things that we have been talking about on and off for years. We wonder if it was ever going to be put into use, and if anybody was going to step up and do it. And here he is. And, that caught me by surprise. But like I said, it's just refreshing, and I hope that it changes and it means something. It's in a timely manner. Like I said, with that guy that just got released after 12 years for that T word, that he says that they think that's who this guy is, and he was crossing our borders. So not only is it the young men, now it's the corrupt leaders of these different devastating organizations that when Mr. T was in office seemed to be wiped out, and now they're coming back with a vengeance. And we have to stop this, and I hope that this is the beginning of that. So with that, that's all I have for these topics for today. And thanks for joining me real quick here, you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. And, let's just pay attention to what's going on and see what comes of this. And I think the border is the big deal at this point, and see what comes to fruition with this, because the Supreme Court and Biden's administration is going against everything that Abbott's doing. So with that, take care, hang in there, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining me again, and bye-bye.